I want to go across to Rahul Gautam. He's at the India Alliance meeting. We are seeing live images from Mallikarjun Kharge's house. It's interesting how Rahul Gandhi has pride of place there, standing in the center. This is also Mr. Kharge's house. Rahul Gautam, what do we know from inside the meeting? I can see the body language quite pumped up. Akhilesh Yadav hasn't tasted any kind of success for a long time. Neither is Rahul Gandhi, so they're looking quite chuffed and charged up.
Absolutely, and in fact, Akhilesh, what we are learning from our sources, was one man, who was congratulated by almost every alliance partner here at the meeting. In fact, now what we are learning from our sources that now Mallikarjun Kharge is going to make an appeal similar to what he has posted on Twitter, wherein he's going to invite all the like-minded parties to join India bloc. Now there's a sense, there's a majority opinion in the India bloc that includes Congress party and Akhilesh Yadav, that they should not, that they're not very keen in making any sort of attempts in staking claims over the government formation. However, there is a minority opinion also, including that of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, that we should make some efforts so that we can send out a message to our voters that you gave us votes, you gave seats to us, and therefore we tried to make the government, but the numbers are not in our favor, so therefore we're going to sit in the opposition. So that's the crux that we are getting from this important meeting. Shortly from now, Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, they both are going to brief the media, and it is expected that they're going to make this appeal. We've been informed that there was a discussion in all probability as to who's going to be the convener of this India bloc, because henceforth there has to be one person, one office going to coordinate among all these alliance partners as to how they're going to chalk out the further strategy. We all know that numbers are highly in the favor of BJP. So therefore, Congress is not very keen. They don't want to be seen as power hungry or wants to be seen as somebody who's compromising on the agenda. So therefore, Akhilesh and Congress, they are pretty convinced that we should not make any attempts. But there are voices within the India bloc that no, we should go and send out this message that you gave us votes. Also, there are many promises that these political parties have made to their electorate. For example, we saw how in Lucknow Congress office, many people came with guarantee cards. So they don't want to be seen that they are running away from forming the government because they can't really fulfill those promises. So that's the crux.
So, we'll come back in just a while. Let Mr. Kharge speak. We're seeing these live images. There is a quiet celebratory air in those images at Kharge's house. Sanjay Jha, we discussed in the first part of this broadcast how the nature of the government and the Prime Minister's approach to governance may change because he has a reduced majority. How do you see the nature of opposition politics change over the next 5 years?
You know, Rahul, in my opinion, democratic deconsolidation is not something that has just been a worry for urban intellectuals or authors or people who are constantly dealing with government issues and worry about a constitutional crisis. I think the fear factor is something that has really seeped into the larger part of Indian society. I know a lot of people who actually work in different levels, and they all talked about कि माहौल में थोड़ा लोग भयभीत रहते हैं, थोड़ा डरे हुए रहते हैं. I think this is going to be a very proactive, participative parliament, because right now, as you can see, there are various political parties having a very active representation in the forthcoming parliament.
Let Ashok Malik respond to Sanjay Jha's point. Ashok, Sanjay says that there was fear in the air, politically, in corporate circles, in drawing rooms, a stated, unstated fear, and that people are breathing easy since that verdict came out, and therefore now that the opposition is breathing easy, feeling more charged up, the next 5 years will see much more agitational opposition politics than we saw in the last 10.
Listen, we've just come out of an election where the ruling party, the overwhelming favorite to win, even by all the exit polls, including on this channel, ended up falling far short of where it wanted to be. And has had to come. He's been re-elected, but with fewer numbers. That should tell us something about the state of democracy in this country. If Mr. Modi is authoritarian and dictatorial, I must say he's a very incompetent and inefficient dictator. He couldn't even fix an election. So let's not kid ourselves about this. The election is over. It was a free and fair election. The political rhetoric is there at election time. All parties resort to it. But we have democracy is in business in this country. It has always been in business in this country. And we have a government to run and a country to run. And the government has a role, so does the opposition.
Sheila Bhatt, how do you respond to Sanjay Jha's argument? He says that there was fear in the air, cough ka mahal tha, now everyone's breathing more easily, and therefore there'll be a stronger pushback that the Prime Minister will have to deal with in Parliament and from the streets than he's had to in the past?
Yeah, right. And I think this is a valid question also. My own judgment is that observation is that Narendra Modi must have heard properly the strong and a very firm message that people of India through a ballot box is given to Modi himself. And I think there will be a very new kind of a transformation of politics, because I think government and governance will not change so drastically, but I think there will be a lot of changes in the politics, the way BJP is doing, RSS is doing, and Prime Minister's own politics. So I think that will respond to people's message also, and what Sanjay Jha is talking about also. There will be many changes we should expect in politics. But I think very soon we will see a status quo kind of a thing, in the sense that quintessentially all coalition government and its leader, here it's Narendra Modi, it's about mind games. Because we have seen these mind games played by Vajpayee and through Brajesh Mishra, in Dr. Manmohan Singh time through Ahmad Bhai and through PMO of his PMO. So we are aware of it, how it works. It's a kind of an illusion of a collective leadership, but actually in Indian style of governance and functioning in government, it will be Modi. But in politics,
so Sheila Bhatt making the point that once the dust settles, remember, there's a new government in place. It's different from the previous government, make no mistake about that. But Prime Minister Modi will still be Prime Minister, and all guests across the political spectrum seem to suggest he's a practical, experienced politician, and he'll find some way of being able to get on, make the compromises that an alliance requires.
Rahul, Delhi का एक सबसे बड़ा नियम है, जिसके हाथ में उसके मुंह में. Delhi works only on that way. जो एक बार कुर्सी पर बैठ गया, फिर आपको बहुत टफ है उससे डील करना.
Yeah, but the difference also is that earlier the opposition didn't think that they had it in them to take on Prime Minister Modi. They just were struggling, stumbling for answers. What the verdict has also done is given the opposition belief that, okay, he's strong, he's formidable, we can find a way, because the likes of Akhilesh tried earlier, Rahul Gandhi tried earlier, they couldn't find a way earlier. So they will also have that extra spring in their feet that if we get our strategy right, we do have an option, and it's not all lost. So Indian politics is at a very interesting juncture, make no mistake about it for the time being.